Welcome back, Happy Fabricators. Today we're going to be working on part 3 of what we're calling the $30 DIY welding fixture table. If you didn't catch part 1 and 2, we purchased a Craftsman table saw for $30 and dissected it, got it leveled out. In part 2, we spent $25 on some locking casters and used some scrap material around the shop to put legs on it. And in part 3, we're going to be expanding our clamping and fixturing table abilities with some DIY budget-friendly clamps. Okay, so I know in part 1, we elaborate a little bit on how our general welding clamps and the construction of this style of table with the webbing allows you to go through the table itself and actually kind of clamp your material down in various areas on the table, like so. With the exception of the center of the table here, there's no webbing. But what we're gonna do today is drill some holes and make some provisions for the more traditional style of fixture table clamp. So what this clamp is a 5/8 rod or dowel that in most cases you're allowed to stick through the table. And what this does is it kind of jams itself sideways in the hole and allows you to tighten down and pivot around on this spot. Now, number 1, we do not have any holes to accommodate that, so we're going to take care of that today. And number 2, to purchase this style of clamp, this is actually a more budget-friendly one than I have here, and it was still $30 a piece. These things can go upwards to $60 a piece. So I'm going to show you another option to get these down to roughly around $4 a piece. But first, let's drill some holes in our table. Okay, so the proper way to drill these out would technically be to get yourself a mag drill, because then you can get perfectly perpendicular to your table. Number 1, I don't have one of those, and number 2, they're not very budget friendly. A mag drill is going to cost you in the region of $300 to $600 depending on the brand you get. The next best option that I found is one of these little guys, and this is a drill guide made by Big Gator Tools, and I'm not sponsored at all. This is just a great little tool. So what it is it's a little index, and then you can clamp this down to your piece, and it allows you to drill your holes square perpendicular to your part. It also has a V-groove on the back side so that you can do it on either round tubing, or even if you're so inclined, you can do it like on the edge of something, or on the edge of a square tube, something like that, if you want a guide to drill down at a perfect 45-degree angle. So we're going to clamp these guys on and drill our pilot holes. Okay, so what we're going to be using for our more economical clamp are these Harbor Freight bar clamps. Now, I'm not the first person to do this with these. I think Fab Forms was the first person that I've seen that did it. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to lop this off and we're going to weld a stud onto it. And this is going to simulate the other one very well. These are pretty cheap. I think these ones were like $350 and I think these were $450, something like that. And you can get even longer ones if you so choose. Okay, so there's a couple different ways that you can cut these off. You can either lop them off with portaband or grinder, how I did here, or you can take and grind or drill the rivet out on the end of this and punch it out. I just decided to cut them off because it was a little bit faster. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take some 5/8 rod or shafting, and probably some rod because it'll be easier to cut. And I don't have any, so I've got some old rusty 5/8 bolts laying around, so we're going to utilize these as our 5/8 rod. Probably going to cut it down to about 1.25 inches, I think, and then we'll be able to weld these onto the bottom. Get it done. Okay, so we've got a little chamfer on this guy right here, just so that you can drop it down in the hole nice and easy. Then we're going to weld it up to here. I left the head on this one because I can. The other one I just left a piece of shafting so I get a couple out of one bolt. But another thing to consider is when you go to weld these on, you might want to consider just kind of canting these slightly forward in the direction of whatever your clamp is. Because when you go to clamp these down, they kind of jam themselves in the hole and they will tend to lean away. So in an effort to keep these straight up and down when they're tight, we're going to want to just kind of like slightly, like 5 degrees or less, 3 to 5 degrees, kind of tip these pieces towards the clamp itself when we go to weld them on. So let's burn these in. There we have it. Now this is our name brand one here. The other thing we want to consider is, especially for using these for welding, is take your plastic caps that are on them, because otherwise they will melt off. But now we can drop this down into our newly drilled holes. Clamp that sucker down, and she is nice and solid. Oop, pull the plastic cap off that guy. I like these ones. These ones actually latch in the down position. I might actually like these better than the bottom ones, because there's actually serrations on this, and then this little guy latches here, so it'll lock down a little better. This thing, if you don't catch it quite the right way, sometimes it'll slip a little bit. So there we have it. Now we have fixturing holes and fixturing clamps for our DIY budget table. We have more mods that are coming, more episodes coming out on. We're going to continue to build this table out. So far we are at, I bought about $20 worth of these clamps. So we had $30 for the table, we had $25 for casters, and another $20 for clamps. So that puts us at $75 into this build in total. And I would say that's not bad for a nice billet table. Now we've got holes in it, we've got clamps, it rolls around, we can lock it down on casters, and we've got some more ideas to come. Now, I would also love to hear your guys' ideas on what you think we can do with this table. Multiple of you guys and gals have commented on ideas, and there's been some good ones, and I think we're gonna do some of the ones that you guys have suggested. So, if you got ideas, comment down below, and we might have the same ideas, we might have different ones, and I'd love to hear what yours are. We're still going to do the belt sander with the remainder of the parts, designs in the process. I just want to get that all worked out before we actually tackle it. So once again, thanks for watching AM Custom Fab. If you guys want to see more fabrication content, click on the links that are going to pop up here. If you want to be notified of upcoming videos, make sure to hit that bell and subscribe button. It's free to do so. Thanks for watching, and go build something, guys.